Okay, this is going to be a quick tutorial on everything you need to know about ACE, and starting off on the NAC server during our modded event. So, not everything on here is going to be perfect, and the exact same as on the server, but it should be close enough. So, when you load in, you should be at a military base. If not, a Zeus will get you there. And we're going to have an arsenal. There are two types of arsenals in the game. There is the usual vanilla one, which you should be familiar with if you've played on other Zeus servers. And then there's the ACE arsenal, which you can access by holding down the Windows key and mousing over what you want. This place has additional tabs, as well as sorting and search functions. You'll also notice with the inventories on the right side, you have additional options for putting weapon attachments directly into your inventories. So, we'll start off with medical supplies. In my uniform, I've already loaded up my medical supplies, and I'll show you now. So, as a standard rifleman, what you'll want to bring is, at minimum, 12 bandages, though I'd recommend 20 for most of our operations. At least a liter of blood, preferably 2 if you have the extra space. A set of earplugs so you won't go deaf when you're firing loud weaponry. Epinephrines, which is adrenaline to help unconscious players wake up. Morphine so you can stop the pain from when you get shot. And tourniquets so you can stop the bleeding when bleeding is really heavy or you don't have time to bandage. This right here is what I'd recommend for anyone unfamiliar with ACE on the NAC servers with the basic medical to bring. You can bring extra, though this is ideal, in my opinion, as a good starter. As for the rest of my inventory, I have a couple little tidbits here to show you. And explosives. So, once you've gotten all that, then we can set up TFAR. TFAR is the communications that we use, and in the lower right hand corner you can see there is a little icon for TFAR already indicating how loud or how far we are speaking. If you press Control Tab, it will switch between whispering, talking and shouting, which basically will just change how far your voice will carry. The next thing to note with TFAR, which I forgot about, is we use the ANPRC 152 radio. So once we've grabbed that, we can press Control P and it will bring up our radio. If we haven't already, we're going to set our main channel to 100. If you don't see any frequencies posted on the map already before a mission, assume that you can reach someone on channel 100. We can switch channels by pressing this button here, or we can press our numpad key that will also change our channels. What we want to do after we've set our channel 100 is set an additional channel. So in order to set a channel in the first place, we select, type in the number. For this we will do 110 and hit enter. Once we've hit enter, the little cursor next to the number will disappear. And if we switch back, we should see that it is still channel 110. Next, if we want to set an additional channel so that we have this frequency and the other frequency at the same time, we click this button down here, Set Additional Channel. This will change the C2 to an A2. A means it's the additional. While we're here, press this button in the bottom left, Stereo Settings. This will change it so that the speaker comes out on the left or right side of your ear rather than on both, which can be really helpful when you have to listen to both your squad and a fire team or other teams elsewhere. To make sure that we can use both of these channels, make sure that C is selected, your C channel. If C channel is not selected, when you try to talk over your regular talk key, it will just instead only be using the additional channel key. In order to talk over the radio, we press caps lock. As you can see in the bottom right, we have the frequency and channel there. If we press T for the additional channel, it will change and we can hear it off to one side. If we do have the wrong channel selected and we try to press caps lock to talk over our primary channel, it will just talk in our additional channel, as that's the one we have selected. In order to speak to someone next to you when you're just in TeamSpeak and walking around like this, it's your usual push to talk key or talk key that you use to talk over TeamSpeak. So whatever that is, that's how you talk to the person next to you. Now, after doing the radios, I'm going to teach you how to do the medical. I may not be able to revive this AI because it's an AI, but we'll try. Okay, so he's unconscious. He's taken quite a few hits, and we can see he's fairly badly wounded. First thing we want to do is go to the Bandages tab and apply a tourniquet to the limb that is severely damaged. If it's orange like this, that means you may be better off providing a tourniquet, whereas we see on the other side it's only got 2 small wounds and it's easier to treat. Primarily what we want to do is treat the head and the chest first, which I have not done, but we can do that now. As you can see, bandaging does take quite a while, and medical procedures, or medical treatment does take time in this. After we've finished bandaging, we can remove a tourniquet, though it's not our priority right now. For now, we want to see if he has a heartbeat. We can click on the head or the chest to diagnose, though on the NAC servers that's not particularly necessary. When we can, we click on the chest, and we click on the Advanced Treatments tab. If the option for CPR is there, then you must do CPR in order to get their heart working. If the option is not there, it means that their heart is working and they do not need it. Next, they've lost some blood. Some blood means it's something that you can fill up with a 250 ml bag and is not something you need to worry about when treating someone. If someone has lost a lot of blood, it means they may need 500 to 1000 depending on how much they have lost. If they have lost a fatal amount of blood, it means they will need close to 2 liters of blood just to become conscious again. If someone is in pain, to give blood, select one of the limbs, and on the Advanced tab you can click the button and it will slowly begin to administer the blood. It does take time for both the blood to begin flowing and just for it to flow fully. This will typically take 30 seconds to a minute, depending on what the flow rate is on the server. However, since this AI is dead, we cannot do that. Next, we go to the Medication tab. This is where we have morphine and epinephrine. Morphine will help them if they are in too much pain to wake up, which is a fairly low possibility. And epinephrine will help them wake up when they've lost some blood and their heart is working. Do not give them epinephrine unless it's ready for them to wake up, as you only have a limited supply of these things and they have very limited usefulness. So, after we have treated the patient, and they would be awake by now, we can remove the tourniquet, as this is a lower priority thing to do. and they should theoretically be good to go. Theoretically. So to recap with ACE Medical: stop the bleeding, start the heart, give blood. Morphine and epinephrine are secondary, and if you are unsure of when to use them, just ask anyone around you or get a medic to come and help treat the person you are treating. That's all you need to know for ACE Medical, and now we're going to move on to other tidbits of ACE. So, here we have a car. We have a car that still has a wheel. We're going to remove that. And as you can see, or as you can hear, we have the ACE combat deafness going on. If we don't want that to happen, control windows, equipment, earplugs. So, earplugs are in. Next time we go shooting, whoops. We don't go deaf. Okay, so you're on a convoy, you're driving around, doing your mission or whatever, and you lose a wheel for whatever reason. If you want to get the vehicle rolling again, you don't need a toolkit. Instead, what you need is to replace the wheel itself. To do so, hold Windows, Interactions, and Cargo. Here we'll be able to find a wheel, which we can unload, and then attach to the vehicle. ACE has a in-depth repair system like this, where if you want to repair a vehicle, you will need to repair the components of the vehicle. Go up to the wheel, we'll see the menu comes up when we're holding the Windows key, which is our interaction for all of these things. And the wheel is attached. Let's go for a little ride. So, detonators and explosives. This is where the extras come in. So, if we want to place some explosives, we do the control windows. Control windows is how we interact with ourselves, and windows is how we interact with the world, such as our vehicle over there. So with control windows, explosives, we can now place an explosive block. The block will appear in front of us, which if we wanted to, we could attach it to the side of a vehicle. For now, I'm going to go and place an additional charge or two over here. Yeah. Oh, that's in the ground. Okay, so holding Windows, we can select a trigger. For this, we'll select the firing device. So now, whenever we want to set off our explosives, whichever thing is set to firing device, well, yeah, the M57 firing device, we can either select the single explosive that we placed, or we can detonate all the explosives on this detonator. If you wanted to get really creative, you can bring multiple detonators, so you can set off multiple things at once. And with the cell phone, where did it go? With the cell phone, when you place a bomb with an IED, it will have a code come up. And you can just punch in that code, hit ring, and if the bomb is there, it will blow up. Now with our explosive over there, we are using our detonator. So, we bring up our detonator, blow it up. Pretty decent explosion. Now, if We do have a few extra ways we can use explosives, but for now, all you'll need to use is the M57 or M15, whatever. Cell phones can be fun too, though. Now, diffusal kits. Say someone just happened to walk up and plant an explosive on your vehicle. How do you get rid of this without losing your vehicle? Well, you need to have that diffusal kit. Use the Windows key to interact with it and diffuse it. The diffusal kit is much smaller than a toolkit, and it can be quite handy to have one, or at least have someone on your team with a diffusal kit. There we go. Now, a couple of the other tidbits. Under the Equipment tab, I've brought this little thing. It is a bipod you can fit in your inventory. Very useful for if you have a sniper, or if you have a machine gunner, and you need to lay down a lot of fire, and you're just swaying all over the place. You can also bring a spotting scope as well, which has the same effect. Now, one of the other little things, when you're clearing a building, it can be handy to mark it so that you know that it's clear. With a self-interact key and a spray can and an inventory, we can tag it. Now, make sure you're not going to spam these things around the base, because it does get a bit annoying and laggy, etc. But yeah, feel free to give it a go. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about ACE and NAC with ACE and TFAR. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you around on the servers. Have a good one.